Hello, this is Darko 2012 from Global Government News. This article is titled Arizona's Coming Government Collapse. It was posted on the 23rd of December. A letter from Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Dear fellow Arizonans, we face a state fiscal crisis of unparalleled dimension, one that is going to sweep over every single person in the state as well as every business and every family. That is why I held an emergency cabinet meeting yesterday morning where I outlined for our state's elected leaders and business leaders the ills of our state faces. As I told them yesterday, we are faced with some of the worst days in our 97-year history. We can debate how we got here, but we cannot remain paralyzed in our efforts to address the situation. We must set aside partisan politics and face the problem head on. We must accept that we are where we are. So here's the truth. The state has a budget deficit for the current fiscal year of $1.5 billion. Next fiscal year, 2011, a budget year that begins in just 6 months, is even worse. Next year's budget deficit stands at $3.4 billion. As of today, right now, that must change. Even though my administration has already cut $1 billion in state government spending, we must redouble our efforts to create a leaner, more fiscal, responsible Arizona. I almost said Missouri, I don't know why. I have asked all 90 members in the state legislature to cooperate by submitting a reasonable plan on behalf of the citizens across our state. I expect them to become active participants in the budget process. This problem did not happen overnight. 5 years of spending nearly doubled state government. The economic recession has reduced state revenue by almost 40% in just 3 years. Population growth in school children, university students, health care and welfare populations, and inmates in our state prisons has fundamentally ruled out simplistic solutions like rolling the state budget back to levels from 5, 6, or more years ago. Federal and voter mandates prevent us from touching nearly 2/3 of the state budget, and procrastination, denial, and a lack of will have allowed all these problems to fester. And it goes on and says, we must solve these problems and we must solve them now. More than calling for cooperation, today I had state government implement various emergency measures meant to ensure Arizona's fiscal solvency. Among them, I ordered the Arizona Department of Corrections to return to the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, as soon as possible, all non-violent criminal aliens, as is allowed under existing law. These inmates are the responsibility of the federal government, as is securing our border with Mexico. Arizona should not have to bear this cost. I am restating my Arizonians' only directives to state agencies to ensure that public benefits are provided only to those who are legally in this country and who reside in this state. Hell yeah. I can't believe I just read that. Effective immediately, I have ordered all state agencies who benefits to citizens to implement means testing and sliding fee schedules. While the government safety net must stay in place, we need to secure help only for the neediest among us. These measures, though they may represent tough news for many Arizonans, are necessary to keep the state moving forward. Every Arizonan must understand why the state is suffering. This is why I invite you to take a moment now to visit my website and to view the presentation I presented today to the state's elected leaders and business leaders. After viewing this presentation, you will see the desperate times our state faces. You will also understand why we must act now, not as Democrats, Republicans, or Independents, but Arizonans. We owe it to the citizens of the state, our children, and grandchildren, to adopt and approve a solution. Sincerely, Jan Brewer, Governor. So that was a pretty nice letter by the Arizona governor. I'm not going to really say too much more about that, but thanks for checking this out. Well, I will say this. This is definitely what's going on in other parts of the country. Probably not as bad as Arizona, but I remember listening to again Bob Chapman a year ago. Actually, it wasn't a year ago, but almost. It was earlier this year in January, February, where he was saying that that most of the states, as far as their books go, the way they keep all the numbers and the money and all that recorded, that it's going to take some time before they actually see how much they are, how bad they're really doing as far as their books go and their budget. And it's starting to kind of hit now towards the end of the year how bad it really is. And so I like what this governor had to say as far as not being, too political about it, but at the same time, it's a crappy situation to be in, because the first thing that the government wants to do, whether it's state or federal, is they want to raise taxes in order to create revenue. But when people don't have the money to pay for the taxes anymore, then you're kind of SOL. And I do know that Israel actually lowered their taxes, so they lower their taxes during hard times. And I don't know what they do as far as social programs go, but I think it's something that Americans need to consider. I think they, of course, want to lower taxes, but the politicians are going to keep telling you that, we can't, we need this revenue to keep up the programs because there's more people and all that, but there has to be some kind of solution here, people. And you can't tax people when they don't have any money. So they're going to have to, yes, they need the taxes to keep coming in, like Ron Paul said, because if you just cut taxes and you don't cut spending, you're going to be just as bad off, right? So the goal is to hopefully reduce spending and don't increase taxes, right? You can probably either keep them the way they are now or lower them a little bit, but really lower the spending, right? Start cutting stupid ass programs that they have in departments and whatnot, like Arizona finally, you can call it political or not, but the state, and the citizens are paying for these people that aren't citizens of the country. And it moves beyond politics. It moves more along the lines of reaping the benefits, and you're not really contributing anything into it. So I think that situations like this, such as the immigration issue and paying for them, for illegal immigrants, and it's sucking the life out of the state while they're going broke, it just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully this is kind of a sign of things to come in other states, as far as just getting past the whole left-right thing. And I hate to say this, but our country was built on a conservative model, right? It wasn't until Republican and Democrat didn't come out until after the creation of this country, where all of a sudden you started having these, we need more government, and whatnot. But we were built as at least the framework of this country and this government was built so that it would be small. It can always get bigger, but if needed, you can rein it in and shrink it back down to where it's not just a gigantic blob, where it's a black hole, or taxpayers' money go down. But so yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks.